Have you ever felt a shiver when walking past an old empty house? That feeling of unease, of something waiting just out of sight? The world is filled with forgotten places. These places have interesting stories and histories that need to be told. Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. In today's video, we're listing some of the abandoned places around the world. Number 4. Aral Sea Graveyard. The Aral Sea in Central Asia was once one of the biggest lakes in the world, but now, in parts of Kazakhstan, it looks more like a desert. This is because the rivers that used to fill the lake with water were used to grow crops like cotton. Over many years, so much water was taken from the rivers that the Aral Sea began to shrink. Today, it's just a fraction of its original size. This change to the Aral Sea caused big problems. One of those problems can be seen near what used to be the port town of Aralsk. The Aral Sea was home to fish, and people's employment or jobs depended on that. Boats would come and go from the port all the time. But as the Aral Sea shrank, Aralsk was suddenly far away from the water's edge. The ships that used to sail in the sea ended up abandoned, sitting on dry land. They are rusted and broken, creating a strange and sad sight known as the ship graveyard. Number 3. Montserrat Island. Montserrat is a small island in the Caribbean Sea, part of the United Kingdom's overseas territories. In 1493, Christopher Columbus came across the island during his travels. In the 1600s, settlers from Ireland and other parts of Europe arrived here. Over time, Montserrat became known for growing sugar, which was a valuable product. The island had a mix of people, including the descendants of the European settlers and the descendants of the enslaved Africans. Life in Montserrat had its ups and downs, with natural disasters like hurricanes and earthquakes causing problems occasionally. Montserrat has a volcano called Soufriere Hills. People thought the volcano was asleep for a long time, but that changed in 1995. The volcano started to rumble and let out smoke and ash. Then, in 1997, it erupted in a big way. Lava, ash, and rocks destroyed Plymouth, the island's main town. The eruption was very dangerous, and many people were forced to leave Montserrat to stay safe. After a while, scientists decided that the southern part of the island, including Plymouth, was too dangerous to live in. This area became known as the exclusion zone, and people were no longer allowed to live there. Number 2. Varosha, located on the island of Cyprus. Once it was a beautiful beach town full of hotels, shops, and homes. People loved to vacation there, and many families lived there all year round. Sadly, that all changed in 1974. Cyprus, which is mainly a Greek-speaking country, was involved in fighting with Turkey. The Turkish army invaded Cyprus and took over the northern part of the island, including the town of Varosha. All the people who lived in Varosha had to leave their homes very quickly and were never allowed to return. The Turkish army put fences around Varosha and has been guarding it ever since. No one is allowed in, except for soldiers. Over the years, the buildings have started to crumble and fall apart. Plants and trees grow wild in the streets. It's often called a ghost town because it looks like everyone just disappeared. Number 1. Shicheng. Also known as the Lion City, Shicheng is a fascinating historical site in Zhejiang Province, China. It's not your typical ancient city, though. Shicheng is submerged underwater, hidden beneath the Qiandao Lake. Historians believe Shicheng was built around 2,300 years ago during the Eastern Han Dynasty. The city flourished for centuries, becoming a major commercial center. It was known for its well-preserved architecture, including temples, bridges, and residences. The residents likely earned their living through farming, fishing, and trade. In the 1950s, the Chinese government decided to build the Sinanjiang Dam to generate hydroelectric power. This required creating a massive reservoir, which unfortunately flooded a large area, including Shicheng. The residents were relocated, submerging the city under 130 feet of water. Despite being underwater for decades, Shicheng remains remarkably well preserved. The cool, dark water and lack of oxygen slowed the decay process. Today, the city is a popular destination for scuba divers who can explore its ancient streets, buildings, and even wooden structures. That wraps up our journey through some of the world's creepiest abandoned locations. Would you ever be brave enough to explore an abandoned place in person? If so, where would you choose to visit? Tell us in the comments. To get more videos like these, subscribe to our channel.